Ready, kids?
I said it before and I'll say it again.
The whole thing is ridiculous.
You've just tuned in to the greatest radio show on earth. You're listening to the Mix Talk Radio with Andres T. Your home for news, sports, hot topics, and more. And now the host of the show, Andres T. Good morning, good afternoon, good day, whenever you're tuning in. How you doing today? I'm your host, Andres T, and you've tuned in to the Mix Talk Radio, airing us Chalk Talk on ESPN Radio 101.7, the Team KQTM FM, Rio Rancho, Albuquerque, on the Mix Media Network. I'm your host, Andres T, so thank you for tuning in, watching, and listening to the show that brings you sports, popular topics, hot topics, news, and more. Remember, catch the Mix Talk Radio airing every Saturday morning on the radio dial at 7 a.m. on 1017theteamfm.com. Also, make sure you catch the show on demand at your fingertips by logging on to the website, the Mix Media Network website, at themixmedianetwork.com. THE mixmedianetwork.com. Once again, I'm your host, Andres T, and I'm excited to be here with you today. We have a great show here today. It's going to be beer-tastic. Yes, I said it, beer-tastic. We're going to be talking with Marne Gaston, who is the owner and operator of Feel Good Festivals, about Albuquerque's Beer Week coming up this month. Excitement is here. I know you like beer, and remember, please drink responsibly. All right. Remember, I always want to know your thoughts. Let me know what you're thinking. Hit me up with a message at themixtalkradio@gmail.com. Themixtalkradio@gmail.com. And make sure you like the show on Facebook, as well as the network on Facebook. And so get on Facebook, facebook.com/themixtalkradio. With Andres T, get on there, bam, like the show, and like the Mix Media Network, which is all on-demand content at your fingertips by facebook.com/the Mix Media Network. All right, lots of great shows on the Mix Media Network. Make sure you tune in, listen, watch, all that great stuff. There's a Napa Speedway podcast you don't want to miss, and of course, the Solo Boxeo podcast. If you missed it, it already happened, but catch all the exclusive interviews with all the boxers. So follow me on Twitter, twitter.com/AndresT23. So let's get the show rolling. All right, welcome back to the Mix Talk Radio. I'm your host, Andres T, and I'm excited to be here with you. I have a fantastic show today, and it's going to be beer-tastic. Yes, sirree. And I have no stranger to the show. She's been on the show, and it's been a year. Marne Gaston, how you doing?
Pretty good. Pretty crazy, but very good.
Yeah, it's been a year since I had you on, and, you're no stranger to the show. So tell us a little bit about what's been going on since a year ago, since the last time I had you on.
Well, we've been getting ready for our biggest beer week, and we have been running all over town, signing people up. It's 50 events this year during Beer Week, so it's keeping us very busy. You're
really busy then.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, beer, I gotta say, is one of America's favorite pastimes, and I think it's increasingly growing, I guess you could say, in that respect. Beer is fun. It's craft beer that makes things good. It's not commercial beer. So tell us a little bit about you. We'll talk more about Beer Week here in just a bit. But for you being the, I guess, head honcho with beer because you're running all these festivals here, tell us a little bit about you. You're not from Albuquerque.
Right, I am from Wisconsin.
Wisconsin? I have to say that, I'm sorry. I keep saying that every time you say that. I'm saying Wisconsin.
And we love beer in Wisconsin. We love cheese and beer and the Packers. So I took one thing that we have around here that's also very good is craft beer. Yes. I gotta say that we have some really good craft beer here in Albuquerque. And not maybe the numbers of breweries that we have in Wisconsin, but we're getting there. And so I was able to take that love of beer and really expand on it here in Albuquerque.
Okay.
We do festivals year-round, and we have people love beer no matter what time of the year it is. So,
all right, let's get down to beerness, like I always say. So Beer Week is here, like I said, and excitement is brewing. And so first off, how'd you become a beer enthusiast?
Well, it took some time. I went to a Blues and Brews festival up in Telluride, and that opened me up to a lot of new things. And I saw that by trying all the new things, you can really get some new people on board.
Okay.
Where they may find something they didn't know about, or they didn't think they liked beer even. They'll find some, if you have all these different options that are kind of in a risk-free environment, So that's where I started. I always liked this kind of standard beers, and then I got to try all these different things, and I learned that there's a lot more out there.
Okay. Now, one thing about you, you didn't try beer until you were 21. Is that correct, or is that correct, or were you?
I don't know if I'm supposed to say that.
So we'll just say your beer enthusiasm started.
In Wisconsin, you can drink before you're 21 if you're with your parents.
Okay.
It is legal. And so, yes, I drank before I was 21.
Okay, so, but you did it legally, you were at home with your parents, so no worries there. Okay, so you are the owner and operator of Feel Good Festivals. So this festival-type organization, how'd you come up with this idea? I mean, was this something that you're like, okay, I always wanted to do festivals, I love beer, so let's put two and two together.
I wish I could take all the credit for it, but I actually just kind of ended up in the right place at the right time.
Okay.
I have always loved putting on events. I've been doing it a really long time. I worked for the X Games and Radio Disney.
Oh, yeah, of course.
And then I went to the nonprofit side. I loved working with nonprofits. And so when Sierra Nevada wanted to put on a festival in Albuquerque, they were talking to New York Pizza Department downtown about putting one on, and they knew me from other events, so they said, let's get her involved. And so it was just, for me, it was all timing of the right people and
right place, right time, everything?
Yeah.
Okay.
So we did the first Hop Fest down there at New York Pizza Department, 2008.
Wow. Okay, so what exactly is Feel Good Festivals all about?
Well, it is Feel Good Festivals for a reason. We like to be involved with charities, so we work a lot with Make-A-Wish Foundation, but we've done Nob Hill Main Street. We do events with them, and I work with United Blood Services and various other charities, and we like to put on events and make sure that it benefits someone who is in need.
Absolutely. Festivals for a cause.
Yeah.
Okay.
Beer drinking for a cause.
There you go. That's why beer is great. Okay. You talked about the different events that Feel Good Festivals puts on across the year. What are some of the main ones?
Well, like I said, the first one we ever did was Albuquerque Hop Fest, and so we're in our 5th year for that. That comes up in the fall.
Okay.
And then this summer we are bringing back Route 66 Cork and Tap.
Cool, yeah.
And that one is within Route 66 Summerfest in Nob Hill, and we have wine and beer. So a little bit of things for those of you who haven't come over to the beer side just yet.
The beer side.
But we love wine too. So it's fun to have them both together, and it's all local wine and local beer. So that's in the summertime, and then the spring we host the Albuquerque Beer Week and Albuquerque Blues and Brews Festival.
Sweet, and that transitioned right into being festive here, and it's Beer Week, and so Beer Week is great because it's a week-long, well, a little bit longer than a week, of beer. In beer years, it's like a week is actually more than 7 days.
Yeah. It's a beer drinker's week. You know how
you go.
time flies?
So, well, it's kind of like those things where you have like a dozen and a baker's dozen.
Yeah.
Okay. So, Beer Week, what's its purpose? I mean, what are you doing here with this?
Well, our purpose with Beer Week is to get more people involved and to get the craft beer community together and just celebrate the beers that we have. Some of the events that we do will benefit nonprofits, and some are free events to the public, and we get out some information to everybody about the craft beer community, the breweries, and the restaurants that serve really good craft beers here in town.
Okay. Now, talking about beers, I mean, there's all kinds of different types of beers, from craft beers to commercial beers that you see out there. For those who may not know and who are interested in figuring this out, what are the difference between the two?
Well, it depends on who you talk to, but the main definition of a craft beer is that it's a small brewery, it's independent, and it's traditionally made.
Okay.
So, if the idea of small is getting a little more skewed now that Sam Adams is getting so big, but they are a craft brewery in most people's eyes.
Oh, wow.
They raise the amount of beer you can make and still be considered a craft brewery by the Craft Brewers Alliance, just for Sam Adams, because they make so much beer.
Wow. Yeah, well, I mean, you see commercials all the time with them. Oh, winter lager and this lager and that lager. What are your favorite beers, and why?
Well, I like to try all kinds of new stuff. So a lot of the local breweries that I can go into on a weekly basis and try something new. El Vicino has a new cask every Wednesday, so that's really fun. And I really like a lot of different beers. So, and Marble's always coming out with new stuff, and it's just fun for me to go in and try all these things. But I can't say my favorite beer. That's just not even possible.
All beer's your favorite beer. Okay.
I love beer.
Now, Beer Week, is this just in one location, or is it spread out?
No, they're all over town. It's like you can go as far out to the west side and all the way through to the Northeast Heights. We've got things going on. So really, whatever part of town you're in, there's something going on. And, north, south, east, west, whatever.
Wow. Beer everywhere.
Yeah, beer everywhere.
Now, Beer Week, when does it start and how long does it last?
Well, it starts May 17th, and like we said, it's a beer drinkers week, so it's 11 days.
Okay.
And time flies when you're having fun. Next thing you know, your week turns into 11 days. I don't know how that works out. But we are doing a few events every single day, and so some of them you can hit more than one in one day, but you probably can't make it to all 50 events.
You're probably going to have too good of a time in one place, and you may not make it out.
Yeah.
Okay, so how many years has Beer Week been taking place?
This is the second year.
Second year?
Yeah.
Wow.
So it really blew up for the second year. The first year was an experiment. We didn't know exactly what would happen. So we put it together, we put it out there, and people really responded well. And this year, everybody wants to get involved. So it's very cool.
Wow. Hey, I want to get involved in beer. Nothing wrong with that. How many breweries are taking place at this during Beer Week?
That's a good question. I am adding them every day. We have 38 breweries coming to Blues and Brews. We have an array, a few more that are doing Beer Week that are not doing Blues and Brews. So if you take Blues and Brews into it, over 40 at least. I'm not exactly.
That's incredible. I mean, and how many did you have last year total?
Probably 30.
Okay. So it's growing every year.
Yeah.
And are these breweries national breweries also? Are you having national breweries take part?
Yeah, we're doing some fun stuff. If you look at our website, we have O'Neill's and Two Fools are doing tastings all week from out-of-state breweries. So you can go and they'll have someone there talking about the beers, and you can learn about the beers and that, because the local breweries are all brewing something special for this week too. So definitely stop in and see what they've got going on. But the out-of-state breweries have to be at a bar or a restaurant, so we have a lot of different things going on for them.
Now, during this week, Beer Week is there are many different types of events, fun and exciting events, activities, including beer pong. So let's take a stroll through these days, and starting May 17th, what's going on?
Well, May 17th, we have one of our beer dinners, which is always really fun because they pair really good food with beer that you wouldn't even think of matching, and then it's just perfect. Okay. They know what they're doing over there at Chalma River. And then we'll be doing one of our beer releases at Imbibe, and I believe on that day, it might be Flash Brewing, but I'm not sure. You'll have to check it out. Sam Adams is releasing their chocolate vodka on draft, which you can't get anywhere, so that's really cool. And I'm really excited about Beer 101 at Marble Brewery. So anyone who doesn't know beer or thinks, even if you do know beer, you might learn something new. You get to try 10 different styles. Okay. And they're going to do it all blind, so you won't know what it is. Okay, and you'll learn about them. And I think that's going to be a really cool thing, but it's almost sold out, so if you want that,
you better get on it.
Get on it, yeah.
Okay.
It's filling up fast.
And so, moving on, I mean, like I said, beer pong. Everybody likes beer pong.
Oh, yeah, we have beer pong that day, too. We have 3 different beer pong tournaments, so I got to remember which days they are. But the Southwest Beer Pong, whatever they're called now, I can't remember. Southwest Beer Pong tournaments, they are at coaches and at spectators. Okay. And so it's free for girls, and there's a small fee for non-girls. for
so
men.
girls, you want to get a deal, bring your girl.
Yeah. And it's lots of fun. Now, it's New Mexico, so technically it's water pong.
Okay.
You're not allowed to play beer pong. But you can drink beer on the side while you play.
Okay.
So it's fun.
All right. What other things are happening during Beer Week that are exciting that we can expect to see?
Well, we have one of the biggest ones from last year, which was Marble Beer and Cheese coming back, which was, of course, a huge thing for me being from Wisconsin. And we also have Nexus Brewery is celebrating their 1-year anniversary during Beer Week, and they're going to brew a special beer, and they're going to have a barbecue out there, and they make amazing food, so definitely that is going to be really fun. We have a couple trivia tournaments, which is a lot of fun, and Tractor's putting one on. That's going to be a very more general trivia contest, and they're going to have beer and prizes and all kinds of good stuff. And then at Imbibe, they're doing a beer trivia night, which is going to be just trivia about beer.
Okay, wow.
So you can take everything you learn at Beer 101 and then go over to Imbibe and put it to
There
use.
you go. It's study for the test.
Exactly.
Okay.
And then we have a couple other beer dinners and a lot of special tapping. So some beers you're not going to get any other time outside of Beer Week.
Special.
Yes.
Wow.
Either they're brewed special or they're brought in from out of state where normally they don't bring them in.
Wow, so lots of good beerness activities and good stuff. And what else? What else do we got?
One other thing that I kind of touched on for a second, but we are working with United Blood Services on Pint for Pint blood drive. We're doing one in Albuquerque and one in Santa Fe. They are always looking for blood. They're always running low. So we got involved to try to help out. And so if you give a pint of blood, you will get a $5 gift certificate to either Tractor Brewing or Santa Fe Brewing.
Okay.
And if you do the Albuquerque one, you will also get a pint glass for Isotopes.
Sweet.
So you will get a pint glass, and then you will have $5 at Tractor Brewing to do as you wish.
Yes. So if you didn't see it, here's a little tent. Pint for pint.
Pint for
blood
pint.
drive. Yeah. Okay. And so definitely get out there and check out, donate a pint.
Yes.
And you get a pint.
Exactly.
You can't beat that.
Pint for pint.
Now, all these activities are great, and everybody can go online to check them out. Website?
Mm-hmm. We have a website is abqbeerweek.com.
Okay.
And that has all of the events going on.
All the 411. Now, Beer Week does end with the Festival Inside a Festival, and it's Blues and Brews. So let's, and this is May 27th, so whereabouts is this in town happening?
This one is at Sandia Casino again.
Okay.
Sandia Resort and Casino, which is a big, huge, beautiful space for us to take over. We love going out there, and you can take the train out there, and you can stay and gamble and eat in some of their great restaurants, and take the train back at 8:40 after the event, which is awesome. You can get designated driver as well, but don't drive if you're coming out for the festival. We have 38 breweries and unlimited tasting, so you're going to want to have someone to drive you. And we have breweries from all over the United States and a lot of locals as well.
So what brewery is the presenting brewery this year? So Brews and Blues, it sounds like music and beer to be. How many bands will be performing?
Well, this year we're going to actually have 4 bands. We are going to have 2 stages going. We had 3 bands last year all on one stage, and we felt that by putting in a second stage, everybody gets a little extra time, and you can enjoy everybody a little bit longer. So we're going to have an acoustic stage set up outside in the hallway area, foyer area of the festival, and we'll have a couple bands playing there. Rudy Boy Experiment and Wildwood Band will be playing. And then inside the festival main stage area, we will have Soul Kitchen, which is the Albuquerque supergroup. And then the big fave last year, Albuquerque Blues Connection, is coming back, and they'll finish out the show. Yeah.
Blues and Brews event is a charity fundraiser. For what charity is it raising funds for?
Make-A-Wish Foundation of New Mexico is our beneficiary for this event. So we have sponsored lots of kids over the years to do some really great things, and all the money stays here in New Mexico and helps out the local people.
Great. And how many years has Blues and Brews been running here in New Mexico?
Blues and Brews is also only on its second year. It's pretty amazing because last year we sold out and it was just a huge hit. So.
And how many individuals came to the event last year?
2,500.
Wow.
Yeah, we have
selling out.
We had to turn away a lot of people, which is always really sad for me because I'd love to have them in, but we got to keep things at comfortable level. So we cap it at 2,500.
Wow. And this is obviously 21 years and older. No one under 21 can come to this event. Tickets, and where can they get tickets and all that info?
If you go to our website, abqbluesandbrews.com, we have a link there to get tickets online.
All right, and how much are tickets this year?
For general admission, it's $25.
Okay.
And for VIP, which is an extra hour of sampling, is $35.
Wow, but you still can't beat that, really.
No, it's risk-free entertainment and ways to try beers that you don't have to go and buy a whole six-pack, and you can decide if you like it before you buy it.
Wow. And, I know it's a beer tasting event. You get a glass and you get a small sample of each beer, but can individuals say, hey, I love this beer? Can they buy a whole pint, or can they buy...
No, they can't at this event because of the way it's set up out there at the casino.
Okay.
There will be some beer available from the casino to buy, but that's... Like, if you just want to sit and enjoy the music and buy a beer, you can, but it's not going to be possible to buy them from 38 different breweries.
Okay. So definitely all this sounds amazing. Beer Week is here. Beer Week running from the 17th through the 27th of May of this year. This month, it's coming around the corner real quickly. So all this sounds amazing. So, one thing real quick I wanted to ask you. There seems that there's a lot that goes into putting these festivals together. Now, you're a little bit of an expert here on putting festivals together. Like, how do you get going, and how do you start putting festivals together of like this magnitude?
Well, it is what comes first, chicken or the egg kind of idea. Do you have someone who wants to host an event, or do you have an idea for an event, and then you have to kind of find the pieces to fit it together. So if Albuquerque Blues and Brews, we wanted to do something in the springtime. We had stuff summer and fall, so we found a location that was willing to host us and kind of put it together around that location. And it's a lot of knocking on doors and talking to people and all that good stuff.
Wow. And how long did it take you to get going for Beer Week? Obviously being an extended period of time for festival, is it something that you start like last year?
Well, I always say I start the day after it ends for the next year, and that just being talking to people who were involved the year before, and how they want to make it better, or people that want to get involved, and finding the locations, picking out the dates, and all that kind of stuff. It starts immediately, and then you really kick it in like 6 months in advance, and then 3 months in advance. All out go time.
It's go time. All right, so we're out of time here. So, Marne, let's go ahead and give our viewers and listeners the 411 about Beer Week website and all that info.
All right, if you want to check out the Albuquerque Beer Week events, go to abqbeerweek.com. And we also have Facebook and Twitter, so we do some specials for Blues and Brews and different things if you get on those. But abqbeerweek.com, and that will link you to abqbluesandbrews.com if you get lost.
There you go. You can't go wrong. Just can't go wrong. Marne, thank you so much for coming on again. I appreciate you coming on like always.
Thanks for having me.
I'm excited.
Not making me do trivia.
Did I do that last time? Yeah. Wow. We should do some test the guest trivia. I remember that now.
Yep.
That's too much. Marne, thank you so much for coming on the show, talking about Beer Week. And remember, get your tickets for Blues and Brews because they will sell out. They sold out last year.
They'll sell out way in advance.
So best of the way, go online, get your tickets right away. So that's Marne Gaston with Feel Good Festivals. Thank you for coming on the show. Talking about Beer Week.
Yeah.
All right, thank you. All right.
We are at the end of the show today, so I'd like to thank you for tuning in and watching The Mix Talk Radio on the Mix Media Network. So make sure you catch the show every Saturday, airing on the air on 1017theteam.com.
KQTM Rio Rancho Albuquerque 1017 FM every Saturday morning at 7 a.m. But you also get it on demand at your fingertips on the podcast website, themixmedianetwork.com. Remember, catch all podcasts, all the shows on demand, share it, like it, love it, and even get on Facebook and like the show as well. Lots of contests coming up and all kinds of giveaways, so you don't want to miss those as well. So once again, thank you for tuning in and listening in and watching. Message me, let me know your thoughts, and give me some ideas. We're gonna have some cool stuff coming up, so make sure you stay tuned. Message me at themixtalkradio@gmail.com. themixtalkradio@gmail.com. And hey, you want to get on the show? You have something to talk about? I'll get you on the show as well. Well, I'm done here today. Thank you for tuning in, watching, and listening. And I'm your host, Andres T. And you've been listening to the Mix Talk Radio, and I am sending you out.